Hi, and welcome to Sealclops Book Reviews. Today I'm going to be reviewing The Chaos Wielder, written by A.E. Cosby. This book was an advanced reading copy. It hasn't yet been released. It is due to come out on the 16th of August, very soon. Here's what I think of it. Enjoy. The Chaos Wielder, written by A.E. Cosby. The very first in a new series called the Chaos series. The genre for this book is fantasy, romance, action, vampires, werewolves, and power wielders. And how does the book compare with other books in the genre? So this book was described by the author as a mixture of Avatar The Last Airbender, blended with Blade, with some themes similar to The Fifth Element added for flavouring. So that alone drew me in. Whilst reading the book myself, the feeling of the story made me think of the Throne of Glass series, written by Sarah J. Maas as well. And how does it match up with your expectation of that genre? So I love reading a good fantasy book. I love the world building and the unique creatures and powers throughout. The Chaos Wielder delivered on all of these things. As the first in a series, I can only expect these aspects to grow as the story does. The summary. Xavier has been content with her life as a bounty hunter. She had control over her own contracts, got to sleep where and with whom she wanted, and could drown in the bloodlust that was cage fighting. Even when Blackout threatened to leave her dead in a ditch, she took life for what it was, chaotic. That is, until her life is upended when the Angel of Wrath crash lands into New Haven and destroys her city. Xavier is called upon by the Monarch to join a Special Forces team to find the Chaos Wielder, the only being in the world that can defeat the Angel of Wrath. When Xavier falls for two males on the team, will she be able to focus on the mission, or will she get swept up in their fire and storm? Aurelio wasn't quite sure how he could get through to Xavier. After knowing her for 12 years, he hoped that she would realize that her life was teetering on the edge of oblivion. He loved her, not just as a friend, but more. But how could he say that without risking his heart being broken again? When the Monarch adds Xavier to his Special Forces team, he isn't sure what is worse, her being in danger or his need to have her. Quaid hated Xavier with a passion. He hated the way she led his captain and best friend, Aurelio, on for years. He always had to clean up the mess she left Aurelio in. Having only seen her a few times over the last decade, comes as a surprise when he finds he's immediately attracted to her when they prepare for the Monarch's mission. His fury met hers, and their mutual disdain for each other was clear. The question was, when would they implode? The Chaos Wielder is a dark urban fantasy about a bounty hunter's lifelong struggle with the scars of her past, her mental health conditions, and being torn between loving two men at once. Now, I should mention, at the start of this book, there is also a pronunciation list on how to pronounce all the names and consonants and everything correctly. I just am really bad at it. So I apologize in advance if I say them wrong still. Absolutely loved going through the book and everything. This is just sort of how the names have stuck in my head, and I'm aware they're most likely wrong. Plot and theme. Xavier has trouble with authority. Leaving the academy to branch out as a bounty hunter, Xavier not only takes care of herself, but she enjoys doing it. However, she fears that she may be losing herself, with increasing blackouts leading her to coming back to herself battered and bruised. Dangerous situations are becoming more frequent than ever. When Xavier is forced into a mission with her ex-turned-best friend, Aurelio, and his elite Special Forces team called Alpha Phoenix, she finds herself out of her depth. They must find the legendary Chaos Wielder before the God of Wrath destroys the world around them. With its shadowy demons infecting those around them and death close on their tail, the team must travel to the Dark Continent to plead for assistance. As the world seems to be collapsing around them, Xavier can't help but feel the pull between herself and Aurelio, growing even stronger. Add into the mix the fury-filled second-in-command Quaid. He has a knack for pushing all of her buttons, seeing the worst in her and blaming her for breaking Aurelio's heart. Pacing, motion, ending, and plot holes. So with the book split into 3 parts, I enjoyed the pacing and felt that it fit each individual part perfectly. I found myself drawn into the story and emotions each time I picked up the book. Cosby touches on some dark topics throughout the book, including depression and suicidal inclinations. She does an amazing job by letting you experience the emotions without glorifying them. Other difficult topics are touched upon in a sophisticated manner. A trigger warning list is included at the start of the book to forewarn readers. Saying this, the book was not as dark as I was expecting upon reading the trigger warnings. Throughout the book, Cosby hints towards an outcome. I enjoyed how she allowed this aspect of the story to unfold. In my opinion, it was very intentionally done and not meant to be a complete secret, as I've seen other readers commenting on. It is not predictable if it is meant to be predicted. I felt that any potential plot holes were explained before they even popped into my head. I can see the world expanding exponentially in the second book. The ending was shocking. I now understand some other reviews where readers were outraged that Cosby could do such a thing. I was not expecting that particular twist and need to see what happens next ASAP. Then the final sentence. Well, I need the next book now. So a little bit about the main characters. So there are a few characters in this book. I've narrowed the main ones down to the main 5. First up, we have Xavier. She is strong and curvy, brown eyes and curly brown hair. She is a bounty hunter, suffers from frequent blackouts, fights her attraction to Aurelio due to mental health, gifted sword fighter, and hates authority. Next we have Styx. She has purple eyes and purple hair, wears a mask at all times, assassin for the martyrs, enemy of the monarch and institute, can heal with purple smoke, and has super strength, senses, and can phase between places. So that's pretty cool. Aurelio. He has dark skin, dark hair, short beard, and adorable dimples, mentioned quite a lot throughout the book. He is a storm wielder, meaning he can create and harness storms out of thin air. He has storm tattoos across his body. So they mention at the start of the book, the more prominent the tattoos, the stronger their wielding powers are. So his tattoos go down both of his arms, and from the sound of it goes across his hips and down his upper thighs as well. He is captain of the elite special forces, still in love with Xavier, and been by her side for the last 12 years. Next we have Quaid. Tan skin, black hair, and neat dark beard. They describe his beard as very short, whereas Aurelio's is a bit more longer. Quaid is a fire wielder, so flame tattoos across his body. Again, they say they go down both of his arms, so arm is the place they generally start, and a bit down his body as well. He is second in command of the elite special forces, best friend of Aurelio, has hated Xavier for how she affected Aurelio and attracted to Xavier. Lastly, we have Jacinto. He is vampire king of Malagavo. Lives on the dark continent, tall, pale, with shoulder-length brown hair. His eyes change colour with mood and appetite, so they explain that once he's just eaten, his eyes are red, other times his eyes are yellow, that sort of thing, and defaults to Spanish when speaking, which is quite interesting. I liked that. The recommendation. So I was very lucky to be chosen to be an ARC reader for the Chaos Wielder. This is a strong first book in a brand new series. The attention to detail and world building allowed me to see the world as it unfurled around me. I have already pre-ordered my physical copy of this book when it releases on August 16th. I just hope I'm lucky enough to be an ARC reader for book 2 when the time comes. And I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. I would strongly recommend this book to anyone who enjoys a good fantasy romance book. Once you begin, you will not be able to put it down. A new favourite for my pile. I absolutely loved this book. The whole time I was reading it, I was fighting with the knowledge that it ends on a cliffhanger and wanting to slow down and not finish the book, but also needing to see what happens next and getting closer and closer to the end. So a must read if you love fantasy. One of my absolutely new favourites. Definitely worth a read. Thank you. This is my review on the Chaos Wielder by A.E. Cosby. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye.